Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Greg Hays from Eagleye Sports, here with you today to discuss the top 5 quarterback prospects from this year's draft. We're going to go over, discuss some of their pros, their cons, which teams would they be good fits with, and their overall grade from me. We're going to start by going from 5 to 1. Number 5 is kind of a toss-up. I'm really confident in my number 4 through 1. But number 5 is kind of whoever you are feeling for your particular style. You could go Zach Mettenberger from LSU, Jimmy Garoppolo, you could go Aaron Murray, etc. I decided I was going to go with Taj Boyd, 3-year starter from Clemson. He played a lot in his first year too, but he started for 3 years. True dual threat guy, not so much as a scrambling quarterback like a Johnny Manziel, but he does a lot of designed runs, which he's very successful at. I'm going to start by going over some pros. I really like how he gets good zip on his passes. He's undersized, but he's got a pretty good, strong, baseball-esque arm. Not really the best accuracy you would hope to see, which I'm going to go over in a little bit, but he gets really good zip on his passes. Like I said before, dual threat if needed. He's much improved on running an offense. He can detect defenses on the offensive line, really good with communicating with his offensive line. Now we're going to go over some cons. On some of his deeper throws, intermediate to long throws, he tends to drop his shoulder and throw off the back foot, and he also likes to sidearm, which is really bad. It's kind of a trifecta nightmare for NFL quarterback coaches. So he might have to work with somebody to fix all that, but besides that, he just needs to kind of tighten his mechanics a little bit, get a little bit more sound. He never really worked in an NFL offense, so he kind of has to get accustomed to that. I gave him a 77 out of a 100, which was the lowest of the top 5, obviously. He can go anywhere in my eyes between the 4th round and undrafted free agent, kind of depending on who's feeling him at the time. I think some good fits would be Oakland. If they pass on a quarterback in the 1st round, he could fit in with some wide receiver weapons there. They're going to try and build up the team, and I think if they make the good decision to not go with a quarterback in the 1st round, that Taj Boyd would be a late good scoop for them. So at number 4, I went with Blake Bortles, and this is going to be a little bit back and forth for whoever you are, if you like Blake Bortles, if you don't like Blake Bortles. Me personally, I'm not too high on Blake Bortles. He's from, obviously, University of Central Florida, kind of made the come up ever since Marcus Mariota fell off a little bit because he obviously is not going to be drafted this season. Blake Bortles definitely has the best size out of anybody in the top 5. 6'4", 6'3", 230 pounds. He's a true big boy. He's surprisingly athletic. If we're going to talk about some of his pros, he's athletic. He gets out of the pocket. He runs very well. He's got raw potential, and he throws really good on the run. Almost better, when I was watching him, he throws better on the run than he does just in a pocket scenario. So I don't know if he's just got to work on something, but he could be a pretty accurate passer when he's outside of the pocket, which is very good. You need to know how to throw on the run in the NFL. Cons, he doesn't see the field very well. He kind of rushes his first read. He gets a lot of his success on dink and dunks, which is weird for somebody with such good size and can take a hit. He tends not to. He tends to kind of not want to step up in the pocket and make those throws. But that's not something that can't be taught. He can learn how to step up in the pocket, make the throw, take a hit. He's just got to work with the right coach. So right now he has pretty good intangibles, but he just kind of, like size intangibles and whatnot, but he kind of just needs to work on his mechanics, make sure he's not rushing his reads, because that's what gets guys in a lot of trouble. He's got good size, but guys with good size who are busts are a dime a dozen. It happens all the time. So I have him as an 80 out of 100 on size and potential alone. I mean, I'm not going to go with that. I would never take him in the top 10. He's going to go top 10 from everything I'm reading, probably to a Cleveland. I don't even have a good fit for him in the top 10. I think that if he could wait a little bit, he'd be good for someone like the Arizona Cardinals. So number 3 is a guy that I've been very high on in the past, much more high on earlier in the season than right now once I got to watching him. I liked him a little bit less when I watched him. Alabama's A.J. McCarron. Now, many people won't have him in their top 5. I like him as a game manager type of quarterback. He doesn't have the best size in the world. He's like 6'2", 6'3", 215-ish. But I do like some of the things he brings to the NFL table. He worked with an NFL-style offense. He had great success. He knows what it's like to win. He is a fiery competitor. I mean, people like to try and bring up comparisons between him and Tom Brady. I don't see it right now. Right now, there's no one that's going to come out and be like Tom Brady out of college or else he'd get taken first. But what I do like to compare A.J. McCarron to Tom Brady is the way he gets really fired up. He gets in guys' faces. He tries to make him better. He works hard. And I do like A.J. McCarron as a prospect. But besides that, it's not just intangibles I like about him. He leads receivers. If he's making a throw, he likes to put the ball in front of him so they can get yards after the catch, and that's always important because you don't want just someone to catch the ball and then fall down. That's how you get 6 yards as opposed to 50, etc. yards after the catch. He does well with orchestrating an offense, which is very important in the NFL because you don't want a guy in there who can have a big arm and big abilities but can't run an offense because he'll get blitzed and sacked 200 times. So some cons about A.J. McCarron: he doesn't handle defensive line pressure very well. He likes to he likes to get happy feet in the pocket, and if a defense does happen to get pressure to him, he will fold. And it happens more times than not where he takes a sack, not because he has a bad offensive line. He's one of the best offensive lines in football. He just can't really deal with the pressure. He needs to kind of learn what it's like to take a hit and kind of take pressure. But some of the best quarterbacks don't always handle pressure the best. You hear a lot about Tom Brady, and I hate that comparison, but I did it to myself. He kind of tap dances in the pocket a bit, but he can do it. And another thing I don't like about A.J. McCarron is he doesn't have the strongest arm in the world on deep throws. And in the NFL, you're going to have to mix it up with some deep throws. We see game managers like Alex Smith. They can dink and dunk, throw all the intermediate passes in the world, but when you get to the deep throw, it's the perfect combination of accuracy and strength. He has the accuracy, but he has the strength to get the ball up there, but not always the accuracy. So he leaves a lot of air under the ball, and that's just a mechanics thing. He drops his foot back and he throws it off his back foot and his shoulder drops. So I think with some mechanics help, A.J. McCarron could do a lot better. I have him as an 84 out of 100. I think he would be an awesome fit with the Tennessee Titans, the Rams if they go offensive tackle in the first round, then maybe wide receiver in the second. I think he'll go somewhere in the second or third round. If I was a team, I would draft him somewhere in the third, if we're going to be honest. I like A.J. McCarron a lot. I think he could do a lot of cool things, but I would never jump at the gun to draft him way too high. I don't think that he's going to be worth it right now. So number 2, and your 1 and 2 is going to depend on who you are. Again, I have Teddy Bridgewater coming in at number 2. Now, Teddy Bridgewater, let me get one thing straight, is the safest quarterback to pick in this draft. He has everything you would want in a quarterback, but his upside isn't as high as someone like Johnny Manziel. Now, Teddy sees the field really well. He is good with his short and intermediate routes. Even his long routes, he has a great arm, an underrated arm. He can make throws off of his back foot that are dead accurate. I saw a touchdown throw this season. He threw it off his back, and it was like, it was a gorgeous throw. And Teddy Bridgewater can do that to you. He has a strong enough arm. He reads defenses well. He's able to step up and read what they're doing. He's able to pick them apart. He's not very turnover prone right now. He's athletic, but he can flee the pocket, but he doesn't need to because he's a good enough passer. But if he needs to and they call on him to flee the pocket, he can flee the pocket. He's got some scrambling ability. What I do like about Teddy Bridgewater a lot is his ability to take a hit. Now, with that, I'm going to go over to my cons. With taking hits brings ability to get hurt. And he took a lot of hits in college, but he was playing in a not very prominent conference. But if he comes over to the NFL, takes the same hits he was taking in college, he got some licks in college. He takes those same kind of hits in the NFL, he's not going to last very long. And I'd like to see Teddy Bridgewater last long because I like him as a prospect. I didn't used to, but he showed me some things on tape. He's very, very ready right now to step in for a team. He's not a great red zone quarterback, which is something I haven't heard a lot about him that I need to kind of get out there. He's not the best red zone quarterback. On a lot of jump balls he tries to fit it in there, he tries to throw the ball up on jump balls, and sometimes he airs it out too far. I mean, that's something that can be learned. It's not a huge deal with Teddy Bridgewater, but it's something for an NFL team to consider. A lot of guys who are really good passers have problems in the red zone, and I think that right now that's exactly what Teddy Bridgewater is, a very good quarterback with red zone issues. I gave him an 87 out of 100. He'll most likely go top 10. I haven't heard anything yet besides that. My best fit for him would be somewhere like Cleveland, and I know that Cleveland isn't the best situation right now. They're without a running back, but they have some good people. They have some good things going on in that organization. I know not internally with the head coach and everything, but they have a solid defense. They've got some weapons in Josh Gordon and Jordan Cameron, and I think they'll go running back in this year's draft along with drafting him. So I think that if he did go to the Cleveland Browns, that would be the best fit for him. And number 1, my guy, Jonathan P. Football, coming out of Texas A&M, the former Heisman winner. I have him as my number 1 ranked quarterback coming out of this draft. Electric playmaking ability, underratedly strong arm, a rocket arm, and he's getting better every day. He's working with quarterback guru George Whitfield. He didn't go to the Super Bowl. He was working on his He was working on his arm. Anything, I have no reservations about Johnny Football off the field. The only thing that I worry about Johnny Football is staying healthy, and that's the only reason why I would advise the Texans to not draft him first overall. But if they are looking for somebody to go, if they were to make the decision to go with the quarterback first overall, I don't see why not Johnny Football. He's got everything you could want. He's a little bit undersized. He's like 6 foot, maybe 6 foot and a half inch. He's only like 205, 210 pounds. But from everything I've heard about him, he's solid. He stands solid. He plays a little bit taller than he is. He has the innate ability to look at a defense, pick them to pieces. I would say I have some cons about Johnny Manziel, though, and things that I think he needs to discuss with NFL scouts or NFL executives. He needs to stop feeling pressure when it's not there. Sometimes he likes to go with his first read. He scans the field second best out of this class. Teddy scans the field the best. But Johnny is very good at scanning the field, but he often goes with his first read, and if he doesn't feel it, he almost feels like he's going to sweat if he doesn't run it. And he's a great scrambler. The best scrambler I've personally seen since Michael Vick as a scrambler, not a design run quarterback. So just get that right between the two. He's not a running quarterback. He's not a Kaepernick. He's not a Cam Newton. He's a guy who can scramble, and guys like that tend to take some licks. And if he can learn to get out of bounds, if he can learn to utilize his skill by also getting out of bounds, I think he can be one hell of an NFL quarterback. So right now I have Johnny Manziel as an 89 out of 100, most likely to go top 10. There's been some rumors about the Texans. I think that he'd be a great fit with the Texans, being a Texas guy himself, working with quarterback coach and new head coach of the Texans, Bill O'Brien. He could have a lot of ability to grow and flourish in an offense that has weapons around it. Arian Foster, Ben Tate, Andre Johnson. They have a pretty good offensive line. But I still think that the Texans should go Jadeveon Clowney. But if they were to go Johnny Manziel, I would not be mad about it in the slightest. And I think the next best fit for Johnny that might actually happen, I have it in a lot of my mocks, would be the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings seem to have that new up-and-coming thing going. They have AP, they have Cordarrelle Patterson. They have some good guys coming on that team. I think they're going to have a good draft, and I think that we could look for Johnny Manziel to be in a Vikings uniform, if not with the Texans next season. All right, guys, that wraps up my top 5 quarterback breakdown. We went through Johnny Manziel, Teddy Bridgewater, AJ McCarron, Blake Bortles, and Tajh Boyd. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and you tune in for more. If you want to subscribe, click the button below. And if you want to visit the blog site, it is www.eagleyesports, EAGLEYE sports.blogspot.com. You can follow on Twitter or like us on Facebook, Eagle Eye Sports. And keep tuning in, guys. Thanks for everything.
These 3 words mean you're getting busy. Whoop, there it is, Hitman.